Okay, as promised, into week 4 update on the 62 project. As you can see from the grime all over my face, and I'm still in grungy clothes here. This is the end of the day. I'm about to go home and get some shower and sleep. But where are we? So this week I pretty much finished up the rebuilding of the valance. There's a little bit of little things I need to still do, but primarily it's all done. I wanted to go ahead and dry fit the tailgate again to make sure the dimensions weren't out of whack. Okay, here's the tailgate mounted on. So, as you can see from the tailgate, I've had it open. I've also replaced all that bad metal down there. So, when I got ready to dry fit the tailgate, I wanted to go ahead and get the tailgate sorted out. There's no point really, I thought, in dry fitting a tailgate that may be out of whack. So let me get it straight before I mount it to the car, the truck. And so, if you recall, this was totally gone. This entire bottom part of the seam. What I found is, as I started to cut away the rust, is that this was probably a well, this is not stock tailgate, first of all, because the paint under the white paint is red. So this is a replacement tailgate. I think they either put this on when this was repaired, this whole corner was repaired, or at some point it was replaced, right? And so the problem is the body shop, when they put this on, this replacement tailgate already had some rust, because there's essentially what they did is this was all Bondo. And after they got the line built back with Bondo, I know it was all Bondo because as I'm grinding away the Bondo, there's whole sections of where the seam used to be that's nothing there. It's just Bondo. So after they Bondoed it and got the line straight, then they wrapped it in fiberglass. And that's great, except that is all perfect for retaining moisture and destroying steel, which is exactly what happened. This was all toast. Let me open this. You'll see how nicely it opens. So nice. The other thing is, if you'll notice here, this is the lip of the Ford face, the Ford panel, that's welded to this panel, and the two of these work in concert to make sure the door is strong. When it's not there, what happens is this starts to put these stresses on this hinge, and it actually starts to roll this panel under. So this panel was all kinds of distorted, which is the reason that I went ahead and just cut all this back, because I needed to straighten out the entire thing. So I just basically found there's a lip here. I went down about 1/8 of an inch below that, drew a perfectly straight line across, cut it open, boom, Bob's your uncle. And so I'm in there, and I was able to, this was all contorted. I mean, when I laid it down, this facing down was laying across my workbench. There was an inch gap where this thing bowed because of the way that the front panel wasn't attached to the rear. So any stress that was put on here just bowed this whole thing. So I was able to basically cut that open, lay it on the cement, and essentially I just used my body weight, where this is laying on the cement floor, to press this back out. And it did. You could feel it. It would just pop back into shape. It wanted to be in shape. There's a few places where I had to get in there with a hammer and dolly where it got banged up over the years. Nothing crazy. And so, put the door back together, got it nice and strong. I still got some finish welding and grinding to do, but that's no biggie. And so now we have a door that works, a tailgate that works like a tailgate. Now, if you'll notice here, all this still needs to be ground and you know, prettied up, but it's strong. This is all stout. This is all good metal now. And so I need to build my weather stripping ring or lip that goes all the way across. I recreated the bend here, recreated all this. This is a piece of metal that basically it's a new piece of 3" by 3" 18 gauge, and I just used this side as a general gauge, and I saved the old piece of metal that I had cut out that was all rotten, but I got general lines off of it, drew the lines in with the Sharpie, and then just went at it with a hammer and dolly and recreated the lines as best I could. It ain't gonna win any beauty contests, but I'm gonna get in here, grind these down, get this nice and smooth. Then I'm going to, before I do put any kind of seam sealer, I'm going to, long before I put any seam sealer on it or paint or anything, this is going to go into the paint booth, and it's all going to get epoxy primed. So all these little crevices and everything are all going to be filled with epoxy. And I'm going to clean this down real good. So we're making good progress in that regard. Of course, this is the next beast I got to do, but I haven't done anything on the truck for 2 days because as I get under here, I notice what I really want is I want a rotisserie. So I've spent the last 2 days building myself. Whoa! Yeah, that was no bueno. Heavy. Slight technical difficulties there. We'll be okay. Everybody's fine. Come on, work with me here. And we're back. All right. So here's the engine, the car rotisserie that I've been building. Now it's, as of yet, really a fairly unproven design. I still have a gusset to make here, some gusseting on the sides that I'll add. But I'm not worried about this as far as strength and whatnot. This is the piece that concerns me the most. I was trying to figure out how to do the lifts. So what I decided to do was go buy a couple of 2,000-pound tongue jacks and use those. So that's the only part of the design that makes me a little bit leery, although I think they are very strong. This is all hardened steel. This foot that I had to cut to weld onto this piece of 3" was real hard to cut through. So this is all hardened steel. But I'm going to be putting loads on it. You know, I don't know. I don't know how it'll work. If it doesn't work, then I'll cut it off and I'll make basically the same thing out of some Schedule 40 pipe. Be nice if this worked though. And here's the other one. Same basic design. This will go in the back, so I still have to make the mount that'll go on the 2 rear frame bolt holes. I'll be using this big piece of angle iron for that, and some of this Schedule 40 to go up under either that Schedule 40 or this Schedule 40 2" and I've got some 1.5". But anyway, still got some spare metal from the project where I cut apart my old 3-ton engine hoist. It was an okay hoist, but it was too big, and I wanted one of the Harbor Freight 2-ton folding engine hoists anyway. This was a good enough reason to cut it up. So that's what we've done this week. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think.